Welcome. Welcome to this Flow for All and to my live streaming classes. I hope that you're all well and comfortable wherever you are in your home spaces. And I would like to first introduce our theme for this week, which is compassion. So in this time that we're living through, this time of great change and anxiety and transformation, and turning inwards and isolation, we are having to re-navigate our relationships with people, how we show affection, how we reach out, how we communicate. And also, as our spaces are getting smaller, we're turning inwards, closing doors, building up barriers, isolating from people. We're also being opened to a larger community online. We're being forced to embrace technological tools like this in a new way and to find new types of community. And also perhaps caring, showing compassion for people that are beyond our normal spheres of life and interaction. So often, if something or someone lives very far away from us, it's that bit more difficult to give time to them, to care deeply about them, and to feel compassion for perhaps any suffering or difficulties they may be going through. That is a common moral dilemma for humans, is if something's not happening on your doorstep, do you really care about it if it's far away? It's that bit more hard for us to really care deeply about stuff that's far away from us. But in these times, we're now closing our doors so acutely and opening our minds in a technological sense, in a virtual sense, so widely, that perhaps that moral dilemma is shifting a bit. And we're being given this opportunity to expand our sense of compassion and the ways in which we build relationships and care for people across space and across time. And so this is a time in which we are given an opportunity and a challenge to expand our spheres of caring and of giving, to open our hearts in compassionate ways, in a different way, in a broader sense. And the work we do on our mats is a wonderful way to explore that, because compassion begins within the body in an energetic sense, in our willingness to feel and be open and to tune in to our bodies and our emotions and how we react to people and circumstances. So we're going to work with that today in our practice, and we're going to be focusing on our Manipura chakra for that. And this is because this is so it's around the solar plexus, an energy, a vortex of energy, an energy center in our endocrine system. And it is our center point of power relations in the world, how we exert our will and how we relate to people. It's also a point of an energy center for us, an engine of energy. And compassion and relationships are about power dynamics and how we give and take. So the theme then interrelates with our work on the Manipura chakra over our sequence today, and the overall emphasis that we want to give more than we take in our personal relationships, in our society, with regards to nature, and on a universal energetic pulse. So let us give more than we take. And so we can begin this work and this practice on that theme in our Virasana seat. So if you come into what's known, or some people call it, the Japanese seat. So you're going to place a cushion or a block or something comfortable underneath your bum. Tuck your legs under your hamstrings and bum as well. Make sure that you're comfortable. Remember, the more height you have under your bum here, the softer it's going to be on your knees. And if you feel a great deal of discomfort in this posture, please feel free to come out from it and sit comfortably, just cross-legged as you would normally on the floor. And we'll just place the right hand in the seat of the body and the left in the right as we roll the shoulders back and down. And start to elevate and lead the posture from the solar plexus. Let the diaphragm be our our point from which we lead our posture. So this allows us to open into the chest more broadly, to expand over the shoulders more broadly, and then also to soften over the shoulders, because the energy center is here. You're not holding the posture through any kind of rigid alignment in the shoulders. And then I invite you to reach up through the top of your head and perhaps lengthen in the back of your neck as well. And then take a moment to just consider the lumbar spine, the lower spine. So often in this Virasana seat, people tend to arch their lower spine, protruding their belly forwards. So I invite you to just start to press the lumbar spine backwards, rolling the pelvic floor up and under, and just tilting that tailbone back and down as you roll up and in on the front of the pelvic floor. And draw your belly button in as well. And I invite you now to close your eyes and just tune into the rhythm of your breath. And we can dive straight into our yogic breathing here for our flow class. So I invite you to lengthen your breath here and just feel, without straining for any particular forced long inhalation or exhalation. We'll get to pranayama in a moment, but here to just focus on a lengthy breath in your rhythm. So expand the capacity of the lungs, feel the belly rise and fall, and find your rhythm of that lovely full intercostal diaphragmatic breath. So that breath, that yogic breath that feels like it fills the whole of the torso, breathing into the belly as though your lungs could literally seep down right through the organs to the belly, and breathing through the whole of the torso up into the shoulders. And the exhalation is a slow and steady decompression from the shoulders down towards the belly. And we'll just use this full rhythmical breathing to focus the mind and bring us into our practice. But it is also a way for us to feel a little bit energized as the oxygen seeps through the bloodstream and wakes up the mind and the brain matter, and allows us to be mindful here, focused, alert, curious, but not strained. So let the breath, particularly the exhalation, also be an invocation to you to relax and to release here. And so just following that full rhythmical breath in your own time, entering into your practice here mindfully. Checking on your posture, making sure you aren't slouching forwards, making sure the shoulders are still soft. And you're leading from the solar plexus. And as we enter into our practice, I invite you to begin on your full yogic breath, to feel as though you breathe in compassion and you breathe out humility and grace. And breathing in compassion and exhaling humility and grace, so we can give more than we take. Breathing in compassion and breathing out humility and grace. Breathing in compassion, filling the body with that sense of compassion, and exhaling the humility and grace we need to fulfill this compassion through actions and to give more than we take. Last breath here, breathing in compassion and exhaling humility and grace. And then on your next inhalation, gently opening up your eyes. You can keep seated here, and we'll just go through a few pranayamic breaths to fire up our Jata Agni, our fire in our Manipura chakra, in our sacral chakra. So we're going to inhale, forced inhalation and forced exhalation. So that's the forced inhalation and the forced exhalation, which is the lifting of the diaphragm. And we'll do that again. Inhale, forced inhalation, forced exhalation. And now forced inhalation. And at the top of that inhalation, closing the root chakra, so drawing up the pelvic floor, closing around the diaphragm, drawing the diaphragm in and down, and then closing over the throat lock as you draw your chin in. So holding your 3 yogic locks, energetic locks in the body, holding the breath and softening the body, not fighting to hold the breath in, and then forced exhalation out. Let's do that again. Inhale, exhale out. You can exhale out through the mouth. Inhale, exhale, forced out. Let's inhale to hold. Closing out the Mulaband, the sacral chakra, the throat chakra. Soften the body, perhaps close the eyes. Hold all of that energy in the body. Keep the breath tight. And let's release. Let's do that again. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Forced exhalation. Inhale. To hold. Root. Sacral throat locks. And release. Let's do that last time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, forced exhalation. Inhale to hold. Hold root, sacral throat. Close your eyes and try and soften and relax into the body. Try not to force or tense too much, but feel the hold that you have on that energy, the way you're holding that energy into the body, building heat. And let's exhale when you're ready. Perfect. And now we're going to move the cushion or the block out the way that you might have been using, anything that you had been using, and you're going to come forward onto your hands and knees. And then just take a moment to see where your knees align to your hips. And then we're going to move towards facing the side of the mat. So you'll have your length of the mat on either side of your hips. And we're going to press the right knee into the floor under the hip, and then reach out with the left. Left toes are in alignment with the right knee. And then we're going to lock into the glutes and lock into the hips. And we're going to take a deep breath here. And this will be setting up for our Parigasana pose. And then exhale to release. Bring the knees back towards the center and face towards the front. So we've got the alignment and dimensions of the mat we're going to be using. Just to introduce them to you as we're on a video and not in a class environment. And now facing the front of the mat, I invite you to exhale and have your knees your feet lifted off the floor and your knees into the mat. And then start to engage through the Mula Bandha, drawing belly button into spine and bringing your hands in front of your heart. Take a deep breath in and then exhale as you tilt from the hips and lean forward, bringing your nose to the mat. And inhale to lift up again. All the while, your feet are lifted off the floor. So this is taking quite a lot of core engagement. Exhale to tilt from the hips and lean down towards the mat. And try and make the movement as smooth as possible. Inhale to lift up. Let's exhale to tilt from the hips, lowering down. Inhale to lift up. This time, keeping the feet lifted, we're going to then exhale, open up the chest, elbows out, arch the spine, look up towards the ceiling, keep the feet lifted. And then inhale, place your feet to the floor and lean backwards, slight doming in the upper spine, arms in line with shoulders, engage your glutes and lean backwards. Make sure, although you slight doming in the upper back, your spine in general is nice and straight. So that's inhalation, exhalation towards the center, lifting up your feet, inhalation, hands to heart, exhale to tilt forwards. Inhale to lift up, feet stay elevated, exhale to open up the heart, elbows out wide. inhalation, lean backwards, engage your glutes, dome into the upper back. Exhale, start to come forward, lifting up your feet. Inhale, hands to heart, and exhale to tilt forwards. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to open out, arching the back, looking up towards the ceiling. Keep your balance. Inhale to then lean back, straight spine, slight dome in the upper back. And then exhale, coming forwards. Inhale, lifting the feet up. Exhale, tilting forwards. So this is subtle work with the core, firing up our sacral chakra. And then exhale, opening up your heart. And then inhale, leaning backwards. Exhale. Inhale, coming forwards, lifting feet, placing hands together. Exhale, tilting from the hips, bowing down. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, opening the heart, opening the elbows. And inhale, leaning back, feet to the floor. This will be our last one. Exhale. Inhale, coming forward, feet lift, hands together. Tilt from the hips as you exhale. Find your poise. Try to make the movement as steady as you can without getting too serious. Inhale to lift up. Exhale, keep the feet elevated as you open your heart, arch the back. Inhale to lean backwards, slight dome in the upper spine. And exhale, come back towards the center. Now, swivel to the side as we prepared before. Inhale to right foot at the back of the mat. Arms out, palms facing downwards. Ready for Parigasana pose. Engage your glutes and lock your hips. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to reach your left hand over the left leg, looking up on the inside of the right upper arm. And exhale. Inhale, and you really want to get a full stretch on the right side body as much as you can. So offering the solar plexus forward and not letting the hips kind of close inwards here. You really want to open as much as you can. And exhale. You can look up on the inside of the arm or look down to the floor if it hurts your neck to look up. On your next exhalation, you're going to wheel your right arm over to your front of your mat, and you reach your left arm overhead, coming in your reverse Parigasana. The floor feels very far away from you here. Please feel free to put your hand under a block, a yoga block, or if you don't have that, you can also use a book or a Tupperware box from the kitchen or something like that. Get creative. Inhale, exhale. Inhale to lift up again. Exhale, wheeling over to the left side, lengthen through the neck. Inhale to lift up. Exhale over. Inhale to lift up. Exhale and over. Inhale to lift up. Exhale over into your reverse. This time as you inhale, bring that left leg up with you and balance here as you press the top of your right foot into the floor behind you and elevate through the chest and lift and lengthen. The bigger you make the shape, the more balance you have here. Another full breath. Inhale, exhale, inhale. On the next exhalation, closing left foot to floor. Inhale to lift up your right leg, finding your Vashisthasana, the back, feet at the back of the mat. If this is too much for you, you can also bring your top leg, in this case your left, in front of the right leg for extra support. Wherever that left foot is, let's all exhale and bring the left arm overhead, making a nice full straight line with the body. So we're really stretching the side body here and opening up the diaphragm, opening up the center line of the body. Exhale, inhale, exhale. On your next inhalation, lifting up your left knee, left elbow, drawing it in, and then exhale, roll over, coming into your plank. Press your hands into the floor, press the webbed part of your hand between forefinger and thumb, reach to the top of the head. Engage through the back of the feet. Make sure you aren't sagging through the hips. Let's pause here for another breath. Inhale, exhale, inhale. On your next exhalation, slowly lowering your body to the floor. Open your arms out wide, wider than the mat, elbows up. Inhale to lift up and open the chest. Exhale to fall down. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale, fall down. Let's do a third one. Arms nice and wide. Inhale to lengthen, and maybe this time just stop here for a few breaths. So you can now flatten your hands on the floor. They were up in the cup like a cupcake or a spider, as I had mine. Flatten the hands to the floor, spread your fingers, and keep those elbows mostly straight. This is called the seal pose, and you want to roll the shoulders back and down and offer the chest forward as you look up towards the ceiling. And remember, you can always self-adjust here, so you don't need to come as high as I am. You just check in with your spine and find your comfortable and healthy edge in your back bending. Let's take another 2 breaths here. Inhale, exhale, really roll the shoulders back. Inhale and exhale. And then soften the body to the floor. Bring your hands alongside your waist. Heel of the hand down towards the waist, fingers up towards the shoulders, and elbows back and down and in towards the spine. Feet together, exhale, release all air from the body. Inhale, lift your head, lift your feet, coming into your locust here, version of the locust, a variation of the locust. And for this, it's very good for opening over the front of the chest and getting some relief over the scapula and the upper back. So to do that, you really want to press your elbows down, heel of the hand down, and then draw those upper arms and elbows in towards each other over the back. Stay breathing evenly here. Exhale to lower. Inhale now to press your hands into the floor. Exhale, bring your bum back towards your heels, and then inhale to lift and step up into your first down dog. And here you can pedal, bend, and stretch with your legs. Soften your neck, lengthen over the back of the neck. Make sure the face is soft, the rhythm of the breath is long and full, and just enjoy these moments in your first down dog to kind of warm the body up. And then come to steady your body here. And we'll just take a few breaths in stillness in our first down dog. Make sure that the neck is soft. You can even kind of yes, yes, no, no with your head to ensure that. And then now really start to press the inner line of your hand, so your thumb and your forefinger in towards the mat. And then get an external rotation in the arms as you rotate those elbows, then an external rotation, so the inside of the arms are rotating outwards, outside of the arms, back of the elbows rotating inwards. That should give you extra space in your shoulders here and allow for you in a healthy way to protect your upper back. So you aren't arching through the upper back, you're protecting the upper back and allowing for you to activate through the solar plexus, drawing the diaphragm up and drawing your belly button in towards your spine, engaging through the mullaband, the base of the body, as well as you tilt your hips and draw the inner line of the legs in towards one another. Let's take another breath here. Inhale, exhale. Inhale to look forwards, come onto the balls of the feet. Exhale to draw the knees down towards the floor. And let's face towards the side again as we did before. This time, right leg going out, left hip and left glute really nice and strong, hips in a straight line, arms out, palms facing downwards. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale to reach towards the right, reaching, reaching, reaching as far as you can, bringing the left arm overhead, Parigasana on the other side. So now stretching the left side body as we engage the glutes, offering the chest forward, offering the hips forward, allowing the body to stay open towards the side of the mat and not closing down and inwards. Neck is long and soft, looking up or down. Let's take another breath here. Inhale and exhale. This time as we inhale, we're going to wheel over towards our front of a mat. Left hand on the floor, right arm comes overhead, stretching the right side of the body. Engage your glutes. Exhale, reverse Parigasana. And exhale, make the body as long as possible, reaching right into the tips of the fingers and tips of the toes. Inhale to come up. Exhale over towards the right side. Inhale to come up and exhale back. Inhale up and exhale. Inhale up and exhale. Inhale up. Exhale. This will be the last one now. As we inhale up, exhale, hand to the back of the mat. This time as we inhale, lifting up the right leg, kicking into the right ball of the foot and heel, making the chest nice and big and open and expansive, and then reaching up into the right fingertips as you also reach the top of the head. Feeling the engagement in the right glute and over the right gluteus median, over the right hip. Hip stabilizers working here to hold that leg aloft, but make sure you aren't holding it all in the hip and the glute. Really flex into the bottom of the leg. Exhale to lower that right foot to the floor. Inhale to lift up the left leg and bring both feet to the back of the mat. Remember, you have the option to bring the right foot in front of the left leg if you need the extra support. On your next exhalation, reach your right arm up alongside the right ear and lengthen the side body. Make the body as long and stretched and active as you can. Exhale, inhale, and exhale. On the next inhalation, lifting up your right leg, bringing the right elbow to the knee if you can, and then rotating over into your plank. And we all find ourselves in the plank now, shoulders over hands, reaching through the top of the head, engaging the inner line of our legs, whole body engaged. Let's stay here for another breath. Exhale, inhale, and exhale to slowly lower the body to the floor. Arms on the outside of the mat, dobing the hands up, cupcake hands. Inhale to lift up and exhale to fall down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to fall down. Let's do it a third time with the seal hold. Inhale, lift up. Flatten your hands, arms out nice and wide as we take a few breaths here. Remember, you can keep a micro bend in your elbows. So don't lock your elbows here, particularly if you, well, don't lock them in general, but also particularly if you have hyperextension in your joints. But regardless, you don't want to lock into the joints because then you tend to hang on to them. So you want to keep the arms active here, keep your glutes active, keep the lower back active to hold the pose. Don't want to hang on your elbows and shoulders. Last breath here, inhale. And then exhale to lower the body to the floor. And then draw your hands behind your bum and interlock your fingers. On your next inhalation, finding this variation of the locust as you inhale and straighten into the elbows and lift the torso up, kicking into the toes and into your hands. Glutes are engaged. Breath is steady and long. So don't arrest the breath here. Go blue in the face to hold it. Keep smiling as well. Try not to strain in the face. Our locust poses and floor work like this is very uncomfortable generally. It doesn't feel natural to the body, but it's incredibly good for our spinal health and also for digestive health and the endocrine system. And exhale to lower. And then placing your hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale, push the floor away and lift the body up. Exhale, bum towards hips. And inhale to lift up into your down dog. Exhale. Let's take 3 deep full breaths here. You can exhale through the mouth. Let them be releasing exhalation. So let's inhale and exhale. Let's do that again. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Last one here. Exhale, release. Inhale to look forwards, and then start to walk your hands towards your feet at the back of your mat. So finding your way to the back of the mat. Bend your knees here, and we can just rock from side to side in the ragdoll. Remember in your ragdoll to tilt from the hips and still do the work in bringing your weight forwards to the front to the balls of the feet, and let your neck be really long and heavy. Let your upper back be heavy, but let your arms be heavy, and let the weight of that upper body do the work in helping you gently warm up your hamstrings. So keep it active, keep tilting the hips upwards and forwards. Last breath here, inhale, exhale. And then inhale, let's slowly roll up, vertebra by vertebra, coming to a standing position. Let's inhale now, reaching arms up above the head, and exhale, bring your hands in front of the heart. We're going to begin our alternative Surya Namaskar now, starting from the back of the mat. Do 3 rounds of it together, and we'll begin by just invoking that inhalation with compassion and exhalation of humility and grace. Inhalation, breathing in compassion, and exhaling humility and grace. Third and last one, inhaling compassion, exhaling with humility and grace to give more than we take. Pressing your left foot into the floor. Inhale to lift up your right leg and bring the sole of the right foot on the inside of that left leg. Engage your glutes here and draw your right knee backwards as you find a lower body lock. And then when you're ready, inhale to come into your tree pose. Pose we all know, very familiar foundational pose. We're going to use this and variations of it in our alternative kind of Surya Namaskar here. So let's take a last breath here. Inhale and exhale. The bottom of that exhalation, lower your arms, and with the inhalation, draw that right leg up in towards your heart and dome in through the rhomboids as you draw the knee in towards your chest. Draw belly button in towards spine, and then exhale to step forwards and hook the left heel backwards, 45-degree angle. Come up into warrior one with your cactus arms. So elbows in alignment with the shoulders, spreading your fingers and really opening up into the chest here, giving a lot of sense of kind of ease and release over the upper shoulders and deltoids. And let's take a moment to also do a self-adjustment here. So rotate your right hip or draw your right hip slightly backwards and draw your left hip slightly forward and engage into your left glute a bit more deeply. Last breath here, inhale, exhale. Inhale to reach your arms up, and then exhale to sweep them forwards over that front leg. Step back, exhale. Sorry, that's an inhalation. Coming into your plank. As you exhale, knees, and let's get the chest and the chin onto the floor, 8-limb pose, sliding forwards. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, push the floor away, tucking the toes under. Inhale, down dog. Exhale. Let's take another breath here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, looking forward towards your hands, and exhale, drawing them back towards your feet. Inhale, straight back, straight legs. Exhale to fold in. Inhale, let's reverse swan dive, back up, and exhale, hands to heart. Pressing your right foot into the floor. Inhale to lift up with your left leg. Pressing your left sole and the inner line of your right leg. Engage your glutes. Draw the left knee backwards. Open through the solar plexus. When you're ready, inhale, finding your balance in your tree pose. Remember, if you find a space somewhere in front of you to steady your gaze, that often helps with the balance. And of course, a steady breath is a steady body and a steady mind. Keep elevating through the body. Let's do another inhalation, lengthening that bit more. And exhale, lowering the arms and bringing the arms down alongside the body as you inhale now, and draw your left knee in towards your chest and dome up in the chest. Engage your left foot and draw belly button and base of pelvis up and in. And then exhale, stepping forward with the left leg. Right foot comes to a 45-degree angle. Warrior one on the left side. Cactus arms like before. Really spread your fingers and activate through the arms. And then keep the shoulders down. You might feel a slight arch in the back here, and that's good and normal for this variation of warrior one. So it's a deep chest opener, also giving relief through the upper shoulders, but also you might feel it energetically over the tricep. Let's take another breath here as the back leg is super strong energy pressing down into the floor in the back of that right foot. Inhale to lengthen the arms. Exhale to fold forwards over that left leg. Inhale, step back into plank. From here, you can find your chaturanga, up dog, down dog, if that's in your practice, or continue using your knees to get down onto the floor and come into a gentle cobra. We all meet in down dog. Exhale. Inhale to find your up dog or gentle cobra. And then let's pike from the hips. Exhale, down dog. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, looking forward to your hands, and exhale, walk your hands back towards your feet. Inhale, straight back, straight legs, straight arms, and then exhale to fold in. Inhale, let's reverse dive up. Exhale, hands to heart. Pressing your left foot into the floor, lifting up your right leg, bringing your right foot on the inside of the left. Draw your right knee back and engage your glutes. This time, the variation that we're doing of the tree pose is to lift up only your left arm and bring your right hand on the outside of your right hip. Use the inhalation to lengthen through the side body, and then use the exhalation to come into kind of like a banana shape, like our Parigasana as we began the class. And as we began the class, the center point, the axis that you are using to have the side body stretch is your solar plexus. Soften through the neck. Last breath here, inhale. Exhale, perhaps going to a little bit of banana shape. Inhale towards the center. Exhale, hands alongside. And then inhale, draw your knee in towards your heart and round into the shoulders, belly into spine. And then exhale, stepping forward, right foot forward, left foot, 45-degree angle. And this time, as we come up, we're going to hook your hands behind your bum in fists and inhale to open the heart, reaching your arms back and behind. Again, there'll be a slight bend in the back, and that's fine. Facing forwards, facing front on, and firing really powerfully the back of that left leg and glute to hold the pose. Maybe sinking a little bit deeper. Another full breath here, inhale and exhale. Then releasing your arms and using the inhalation with arms now alongside the shoulders to come up into your helicopter balance. Right leg to floor, and your left leg is very engaged, kicking back and behind you, reaching into the ball of the foot, the toes, the heel, reaching into the fingertips, reaching through the top of the head. Another full breath here, inhale, exhale, inhale, And then on the exhalation, bending into that right foot as you slowly bring the left foot back to the floor behind you, and then drawing your arms up alongside your ears. So you come into the thunderbolt pose. So you want to make a diagonal shape with the body as you reach through your fingertips, engage the glutes and reach through the back heel, looking down towards the floor, towards your right foot. This is a cardiovascular engaging pose, so you'll really feel it draw belly into spine, engage through the inner line of the right thigh as well here. Last breath, inhale. Exhale, bringing your hands to the floor on either side of that right foot. Inhale, setting back into plank. Then finding your way through chaturanga. Exhale, or using a gentle cobra, lower version. And tilting from the hips. Exhale, we all find our way back to our down dog. Let's take a deep breath here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, look forward to your hands, and exhale, walk them back towards your feet. Inhale, straight back, straight legs, looking forwards, and exhale to fold in. Inhale, let's stand up, reverse dive up. Exhale, hands to heart. Pressing your right foot into the floor. Inhale to lift up with your left. Bring your left foot on the inside of the right thigh. Engage your glutes, find the lock in the lower body as your left knee goes backwards. Let's find that lateral stretch on the right side. As you inhale, lifting up the right arm only, left hand on the outside of the left hip. Use the inhalation to lengthen and then use the exhalation to kind of reach over towards that left side. Keeping the body front on to the front of the mat and offering the solar plexus forward. Last breath here, inhale to lengthen and exhale to go a little bit more deeply. Inhale, exhale, come out of the pose and then use the inhalation to draw your knee in towards your chest and round into the shoulders, fire up the core. You draw belly into spine. Exhale, stepping forward with the left foot, right foot 45-degree angle, sweeping your hands behind your bum. Inhale to open your heart and draw those arms way back away from your bum and hips. Facing front on to the front of the mat as much as you can and feeling the power and push away from you through the back of the right leg. Make the neck be kind of soft here and natural. So the natural gaze is slightly elevated now. That's the line where the wall meets the ceiling. Last breath here, inhale and exhale. Using your inhalation, you're going to release your arms and find the press and the strength of the inhalation to come forwards into your helicopter balance. Engaging into that right leg now, reaching into the fingers, making the shape super big, and perhaps closing the right hip slightly towards the floor, and then firing up the inner line of the right leg. Last breath here, inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale to bend the left knee and slowly, with control, bringing the right foot back and behind you. Thunderbolt pose as you inhale and bring your arms alongside your ears, and then tilt forwards and make sure that back leg is super strong and the back heel is super strong, back glute is strong. But you are now really waking up the heart and the breath as we hold this pose here, firing up the inner line of that left leg and drawing the base of the pelvis up in towards the belly, belly in towards spine, looking down towards the left foot. Last breath here, inhale. Exhale, lowering your hands to the floor. Inhale, plank. Either moving through on your knees in low cobra or vinyasa. Inhale to up dog. And piking through your exhalation, down dog. We all meet here, full breath together. Inhale and exhale. Remember, you can come onto your knees at any time. Child pose, always an option. Inhale, look forward to your hands. Exhale, walk your hands back towards your feet. Inhale, straight back, straight arms looking forwards. Exhale to fold in. And then inhale to rise. Reverse diving up. Exhale, hands to heart. Pressing your right foot into the floor. Pressing your left foot into the floor, my mistake. Let's lift up with the right. This will be the last round. So engage through the glutes, right knee goes back. This time you're going to bring your hands behind your back and you're going to hold onto your elbows as you offer the solar plexus and chest forward, rolling the shoulders back. And that might mean that your elbows draw down towards the floor a bit more intensely. And then you're going to look away from the right knee over your left shoulder. So testing your balance here, our last variation of the tree pose. Standing up nice and straight, not leaning forward, trying to hold your balance through expanding, not contracting inwards. And then exhale to release the arms. And now we do the contraction in as you draw your knee in towards your heart, round through the rhomboids, fire up the belly, and then exhale to step forward, right foot forward, left foot 45-degree angle. This time coming into your Garudasana arms. So your left arm is going to be the strong arm because your right leg is the front strong leg. And then you're going to wrap your right arm around the left to find your arms here. Palm against palm. That's not possible. You can bring the back of the hand against the back of the hand. Also fine. And then swivel to come front onto the mat. And you finding your balance, inhale to lift your elbows up away from the chest and up towards the ceiling. So really press arm against arm as you elevate the chest and lift up towards the ceiling. Soften the back of the neck. Last breath here, inhale. And on your exhalation, keeping your feet exactly where they are. Keep your hands aligned as they are. Come into your humble warrior with your Garudasana arms. So you really want to get weighty into your elbows here and forearms, feeling like a magnetic force, drawing them down towards the floor. Make sure that you really glue the left back sole of the foot into the floor to keep your balance. And you want to gently press the inner line of the right leg into your right shoulder, helping to keep equilibrium over your feet, keeping your balance. Last breath here, inhale. Exhale a little bit deeper. Inhale to lift the torso up and lift your back heel. Exhale, get earthy, bending your knees, pressing down in towards the floor, and then using the kinetic energy of your inhalation, we're going to come into your helicopter balance with Garudasana arms, closing your left hip towards the floor here a little bit so your hips are parallel to the mat, and your back foot is super engaged in a line of that left leg also engaged. Reach to the top of the head, keep the arms active. Last breath here, inhale. Exhale. Inhale to sweep that left leg forward. You can stop for balance if you need halfway, but otherwise keep the left leg elevated as you bring it forward. And then we come into the full Garudasana as left leg wraps over right, coming into those pretzel legs, sitting back into the hips, and then lifting your elbows up away from your chest and up towards your chin. Make sure that you're still facing front on. So make sure the spine is still elevated here and you aren't closing the body in to hold the pose. Remember, if you can't find the full kind of Garudasana bind with your legs, you can always just sit like you're kind of cross-legged with that left foot free. So it's up to you. Last breath here, inhale, exhale. Inhale to lift up, unfurl. Exhale, taking your left foot behind the right. And now your feet are in a straight line, body facing front on towards the mat, one foot behind the other. Really fire up the inner line of your legs as you squeeze the thighs together, squeeze the bum together, and straighten and lengthen through the front body. Palms in front of heart, and then exhale to tilt from the hips, keeping the legs active as you tilt forwards into this variation of a standing forward pose. Take your left hand, place it behind the right leg, and the right hand behind the left. Tilt the hips up towards the ceiling and soften the back of the neck. So this is really testing your balance, but more than anything, it's testing the power of your adductors and that feeling of squeezing and pressing
between the thighs. So just engage that press between the thighs, and that will be the main way to keep your balance here. Last breath, inhale, try and soften your neck, maybe looking in towards the shin now. Exhale. Inhale, release your hands, place them towards the front of the mat, find your balance, and release your left foot, start to bend into the left knee, and now the right knee as well as you exhale, and sit down onto your mat for your Ardha Matsyendrasana. So bringing both bum cheeks on the mat, your left quad is going to be facing in parallel line with the left side of the mat, and then you're bringing your right leg over the left. Tilt towards the front of the hips and ground your hips onto the mat. And then taking a deep inhalation, lengthen through the spine and twist towards your right side, bringing your right hand into the seat of the body. And then inhale to lengthen through your left arm, and exhale to come into your beautiful Lord of the Fishes twist. So you want to resist your left upper arm against your right knee here. And that tension between the two gives you the kinetic energy to twist more deeply, to look over your right shoulder towards the back of the mat. And you can also use that in a line of your right arm to keep your spine elevated, to keep yourself sitting up nice and straight. Press the shoulders apart from one another, and let that breath be full and energizing. Last breath here, inhale, exhale. Inhale, swivel towards the front, and we'll just swap over to the other side, reversing that twist, bringing the right arm on the inside of the right leg, left leg into the seat of the body, twisting to face over the left shoulder now. Make sure that the right knee and leg isn't splaying outwards too much, and you're still elevating and sitting up really comfortably on the pelvis, on the base of the body. And then slowly release out of the reverse. Facing towards the front of the mat, we're now going to inhale and get ourselves ready for the Navasana. So make sure you aren't too far backwards, because we will roll back. So you should be somewhere near the middle of your mat. And then knees are bent. Inhale, set yourself up for the Navasana. First, starting with the knees bent, rolling the shoulders back, keeping the back nice and straight here, pressing the solar plexus forward so you aren't rounding in. Then if that's comfortable for you, straightening your legs. When you straighten your legs, externally rotate your thighs and your legs so that you then press them inwards. And that's a nice way to strengthen the legs and hold the pose more easily. If this becomes too much, you can also hold the back of the thighs to hold the pose, knees bent, and you'll find it's a bit easier that way. So we'll just stay for 3 more breaths. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. Slowly bending the knees, and then using the inhalation, roll back and come into your plow pose. So there's a few variations here. First one is to stop before you go right over onto the neck. So you're balancing somewhere around the scapula. And then you place your hands in the small of the spine, elbows on the floor, small of the back, and you just kind of hang out here. There's absolutely no pressure on the neck. And this is if you have previous neck injuries or want to just take it easy today and not in any way put pressure on the spine, and you can hang out here. If you're familiar and want to go further, of course, you bring your weight right over onto the shoulders and the neck. Bring the legs overhead. If your feet are touching the floor at the back of the mat, you can draw your arms with the elbows and tricep, the outer part of your upper arms onto the floor behind you, making kind of like a horseshoe shape. If your feet aren't touching the floor, I invite you to keep supporting your back with your hands. Maybe close your eyes here. And if it serves you and you want to go further, bend into your knees, And bring your hands, your palms over the cheeks, and bring your arms over the crease of the knees. Keep the weight going forward over the body. And then slowly, wherever you were, with a straight bent or bent legs, you now bring your hands to support the back of your hips and slowly start to roll down, pressing the base of the spine into the floor, slowly releasing. And from here, we can use the inhalation to come back into our Navasana. So you want to engage through the legs. If you couldn't straighten your legs last time, you're going to bend your legs already now. So find your edge. And then using the inhalation, lift your head up, draw belly into spine, and arrive back at your Navasana. So it might require a little bit of balance, and that's perfect. We'll hold it for 3 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, last breath here, and exhale. Slowly releasing the legs, crossing feet over one another, pressing your hands into the floor, and then stepping or jumping back into your plank. You can find your way through Chaturanga, or perhaps you just want to go into child pose or down dog, up to you. Piking through the up dog. We all meet in down dog. Let's take a deep breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to lift up your right leg. Kick it back and behind you. Fire up the inner line of the right leg. Relax into the neck. Press the floor away as you elevate the weight up towards the hips, up towards the leg. On your next inhalation, you're going to bend into your right leg and you're going to dome in the spine, as we've been doing, drawing your knee in towards your nose. Let's exhale here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale to kick back and exhale. Let's do the other side. Inhale, kicking up with your left leg, 3-legged dog. Remember, you can always do that self-adjustment to close that left hip slightly towards the floor. It's very common that that hip is a little too elevated. And so you want to even your weight out over the front body. So you're parallel to the floor. On your next inhalation, you're going to draw that left knee in towards your heart, rounding the upper spine. This is called the Jaguar pose. Knee to nose, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, kick back. And exhale, down dog. Inhale, look forwards. Exhale, walk your hands back to your feet. Inhale, straight back, straight legs. Exhale to fold in. And inhale, let's come up, reverse dive. And exhale, hands to heart. Last side, pressing your right foot into the floor. Inhale to lift up with your left leg and hook your left foot on the inner line of the right thigh. Draw your left knee back, engage your glutes, and find the lock in the lower part of the body. Then when you're ready, draw your hands behind your spine, hold on to each elbow, roll shoulders back, perhaps press elbows down closer towards the hips, and then look away from your left knee, testing your balance, so you're looking over your right shoulder. You can press your big toe of the right foot and inner line of the right foot into the floor to help with the balance. Last breath here, inhale. And exhale to release your arms. Inhale to draw left knee in towards nose, rounding through the spine, full strength in the inner line of the body and the core. And then exhale, expansive step forwards, right foot, 45-degree angle, right arm up as a strong arm, left arm wraps around, hand to hand, palm to palm, or back of hand to back of hand, up to you. Sit down comfortably in your warrior one alignment in your legs, and then inhale to lift those elbows up towards the ceiling, offering the chest upwards and softening through the neck, softening through the spine. Keep breathing here. Try and soften your gaze. Don't sort of wrinkle over your forehead or strain, but keep that back leg super active. Keep the right glute super active. Last breath here, inhale. On the exhalation, wheeling forwards, keeping your legs exactly where they are and drawing those heavy elbows and forearms down to the mat on the inside of the left leg. Back foot is glued to the mat. Think about gluing the baby toe in complete outer line of that right foot to the floor. Exhale, heavier. Last breath here, inhale. Exhale, getting heavier. Inhale now to lift up, drawing that arms up, those arms up, remembering your English on the way, lifting up your left heel and exhaling to get earthy, bend into the knees, using the inhalation to step forwards into your helicopter balance with Garudasana arms. It's your right leg that needs to be super strong, and perhaps you even just rotate it inwards slightly to remind yourself to fire up the inner line. Remember to press the chest down towards the floor and elevate through the head. Last breath here, inhale, exhale. Inhale to now stand up and either in one or two movements, sweep the right leg forward, bring it over the left, find your Garudasana legs, easier said than done. Find your Garudasana legs, either the full pretzel or just sitting normal cross-legged. And once you've done that, engage your core and lift your elbows up to make space for yourself and to give yourself that equilibrium of tension between legs and hands to balance, and then straighten through the spine and keep the spine elevated. Keep the face soft. Maybe sit down a little further. Last breath here, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale to lift up, unfurl, right foot comes behind left. And so you're in that straight line towards the front of your mat. Engage the inner thighs, press them up and inwards, engage your glutes and feel the lift through the body as you do that. Press your feet to the floor, hands to heart. Inhale. As you exhale, tilt from the hips, tilting over those legs, coming into your alternative variation of a standing forward bend or a very closed-legged pyramid pose, and bring your right hand behind left and left hand behind right. Elbows press outwards like you're making the bottom of a square shape with your elbows towards the ankles or the calves, wherever you're holding. Now squeeze between the thighs and bring the weight forward to the balls of the feet, tilting the hips up and pressing the knees back, and then lengthen and soften through the neck. Perhaps gazing in towards the shin, towards the knee. Last breath, inhale, exhale. Inhale, look forwards, hands to the mat and lengthen. And then exhale, bending into your right knee, bending into your left leg, coming to sit down, ready for your Lord of the Fishes. So, Adho Matsyendrasana. So, right leg is quad, is in alignment with the outside of the right mat, left over right, both bum cheeks firmly placed to the floor. Then we're going to take an inhalation to lengthen the body and remind ourselves to open through the chest and relax the shoulders. And then we're going to twist towards the left side, bringing the left wrist in towards the base of the body and pressing the inner line of that arm in towards the spine to help keep ourselves up nice and straight. As you lengthen through the right arm, take an inhalation and then exhale. Come into your bind, looking over the left shoulder. Soften through the neck and separate the shoulders. You can also press into your knees. So pressing your right knee down to the floor and drawing your left knee further in towards the right side. Last breath here, inhale, Exhale, twisting a little further. Inhale, coming towards the center. And let's reverse that twist. Left arm on the inside of the left leg, right arm in close towards the spine, and twisting to look over the right shoulder. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale to face the front again. Unfurling legs. Let's find our Navasana. So you know where you're at with this. We did it before. When you're ready, find your edge using the inhalation. Remember to, wherever you are with your legs, to squeeze them together and to activate your feet. Roll the shoulders back, check in with your spine. Make sure you aren't rolling backwards, but you're meeting that lifting through the legs with the lifting through the chest. Another 2 breaths. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale to roll back as we did before. This time, finding your edge wherever you were, plow, wherever you were in the plow, making sure that your hands are still supporting the small of the spine, and asking yourself, is it comfortable to stay here? Or if it serves you, inhale to lift your legs up, and we'll find our shoulder stand. So if this is in your practice, you know where you're going here as you elevate through the legs and stretch through the front of the body, engaging the glutes to stay upright. If this is not in your practice, I advise that you stay in that lower plow pose, supporting the base of the spine. And if you would like to try in this pose and you come up and you're not 100% comfortable, there's a very nice adjustment, self-adjustment. You can bend into your knees and bring your knees to your forehead, and you'll feel that you balance there. And then that gives you the scope to kind of roll and rock and wiggle your elbows in closer towards each other under the body. You're also rotating into the shoulders here, opening them up, opening the chest up to get the arms closer together. That also allows you to get your hands higher up the spine and then to elevate and come into your shoulder stand. So it's a nice self-adjustment. Wherever you are in your shoulder stand, you can perhaps now close your eyes and soften your face. Let the lymphatic system drain down. Give yourself that cardiovascular reboot through the body. Counting another 5 full breaths in your own time. The bottom of that exhalation, drawing belly in towards spine, tilting the hips and keeping the legs nice and straight. Place your hands to the floor when you can and slowly start to roll out of the pose, vertebra by vertebra. The longer you take and the more you keep the legs straight, the better. Coming back towards a neutral spine here. And once again, we'll find our, so first before we find our Navasana, let's undo that stretch in the back of the shoulders and neck by coming into our fish pose, our Matsyendrasana. So for this, we're first going to do the conventional one. So you can lower your legs towards the floor, and then you're going to wiggle around a little bit to get the arms underneath the body. There's no glamorous way to do this. And you're going to draw your thumbs together as you draw those arms far down the spine, close in towards each other, and then separate your hands as you plant your palms on the floor. On your next inhalation, you're going to press into the elbows and the hands to lift your chest up, lift your head off the floor, and then exhale to bring the top of the head down on towards the mat. Breathing is full and expansive through the chest. You're really elevating the chest and the breath through this pose and through this breathing. Let's take 3 more breaths in our own times, breathing in compassion and breathing out humility and grace. Inhale, compassion. Breathing out humility and grace. Breathing in compassion and breathing out humility and grace. And then inhale to lift your head that little bit once again, gently coming out of the pose. Now, you can either come into that pose a second time, or we can try a variation on this. It's actually from Ashtanga. As you move your arms to the side of the body, palms still facing down. And now you want to press the very, very base of the tailbone onto the floor as you draw your elbows a little bit closer and your shoulders a little closer to the hips. So you're really doming through the chest here and feeling an arch in the spine. Then press your elbows onto the mat on the side of the body and inhale to lift it, bent legs first. Check in with your spine and draw your belly in towards your spine and engage your mula bandh. If this is hurting your lower back, come out of the pose. Don't proceed from here. If the lower back feels fine, inhale to lengthen through the legs and then lift your head up as well, coming into your fish pose with elevated legs. If it serves you now, bring your hands together in front of your heart like a straight line here. And you might want to just adjust and go more deeply. Press into your hands, press into your feet. Last breath here. Intensive pose. Inhale and exhale. Release hands, bend knees first. Then bring feet to the floor. Hold on to the buttocks and safely release the spine. Perfect. And then from here, we can all hug our knees to the chest and just rock from side to side. And then coming to still in the center of the mat, hold on to one knee and we can rock up to sitting position. And from here, we can come into an inversion. So there's a few options. Perhaps you're familiar with the tripod headstand and you want to proceed now in the center of your mat. Perhaps you're still learning with your inversions and you want to slide your mat now against a wall. Perhaps inversions aren't in your practice and you just want to set up the inversion with me, and I'll give options for everyone. So everyone can find their safe edge in setting up and practicing on tripod headstand. So if you've moved your mat against a wall, make sure the front edge is flush against a skirting board in front of a wall. So let's imagine as though I've done that here. Then you're going to place your hands shoulder width apart, heels in towards the body, fingers away from the body. And then your knees are behind your feet. And you're going to place your head, the crown of the head on the floor in front of your hands. It depends on your height, but it's a good 15 centimeters. And you make a triangle shape. And when you come onto the crown of the head, then the very top of the head, as you kind of roll over a little bit, your elbows should be at a right angle. And so if your elbows are still back, so if they're not coming into a right angle when you go on the top of the head, that means you need to move your head away from your hands a little bit more. The order is head against the back of the wall, skirting board, hands under shoulders, and knees a little back from the hands. So we're all safe here. We can all set up like this. Then inhale to lift your head up. We're still on the floor. We're still safe. Everybody can do this as you engage through the heel of the hand and the fingers and draw the elbows in towards each other. So a common mistake here is people splay the elbows outwards. You don't want to do that. And then you want to walk your feet towards your hands and lightly practice bringing one knee on your elbow at a time. So everybody can practice this. Totally safe, no problem. And then if you want to go further, when you practice one leg up, you're going to keep it there and bring the other with it. So this is another option. Wall behind you for safety if you've never done it before. And then if you want to go further, inhale to engage through the mula bandh and through the thighs to tilt through the hips and lift the lower body up. into your tripod headstand. So now you've got the wall behind you and you're practicing here. If you are in your tripod headstand and you're looking for something a bit deeper, the variation option you have here is to find your Garudasana legs. So you would take your right leg in front of the left, find the pretzel legs, keep your balance, and then swap over. Left over right. Beautiful. Back towards the center, and then we can all come down the same way we came up. So that's to bend into the knees and to slowly bring the knees down on the upper arms. Slowly bring the feet to the floor, knees to the floor. And then we can all slide back, no matter where you were in your practice and your tripod headstand there, into your child pose. Knees close in towards each other. This is a conventional balasana. Knees close in, arms alongside the outer part of the legs, palms facing upwards, forehead on the floor. Spine is completely supported here in a soft and safe capsule, like a seed, in contact with the earth, in intimacy with the earth here. And let your breathing start to steady and soften as we are coming towards the end of our practice. Perhaps close your eyes, really connecting with that cycle of breath, of that inhalation and exhalation. Each iteration a give and a take in the universe, an exchange of energy. And so our practice becomes a microcosm for the macro acts of compassion, of power dynamics, of giving and taking. Then inhale to lift your head up. And we're coming towards the close of our practice. We're going to do a nice back bend now. So keep your mat towards towards a wall, if that's where it was. We're going to use the wall in our back bend. So you're going to swivel over onto your bum, so your floor, your head is towards the wall where the skirting board and floor meets the wall. And then you're going to slowly recline, taking care with the spine, bringing your head to touch the skirting board. So your head is right towards the back of the wall. And we're doing the bridge first, so feet hip width apart, heels close in towards the bum, hands on either side of the bum, palm facing down. Engage through the mulaband, so draw the pelvic floor up and under and curl through the tailbone as you lift just the very, very end of your spine. Draw belly button in. And then start to press your feet into the floor and engage through the thighs. Further, as you bring your hips up, check in with your spine when you bring your body in a straight line and ask yourself whether you feel comfortable to go further into a back bend. And if you do, then you're going to press your hands into the floor and just swivel and wriggle around a little bit to bring your elbows and shoulders a bit more deeply under the body. And then from here, you can interlock your fingers if there's space for that, and bring the baby fingers and the outer part of your hands onto the mat, making a horseshoe shape like we did in our plow pose. And so what is very common in this pose is people have their feet and their knees too wide apart. So perhaps you just want to imagine as though you're holding a block or a precious object between your thighs, and you really want to squeeze them in and keep that there. And now you can either stay here practicing your bridge, or if you would like to go further, you can on the next inhalation press your left foot into the floor and engage more through the glutes, press your hands more deeply to the floor, and then inhale to lift up your right leg only. And straighten your right leg, straighten into the right toes, and imagine as though you could now tap the wall behind you with your toes. Even try. You might be close, you might not, it doesn't matter. You just want to do a few little pulses there. And then exhale to lower that leg. What happens on the one side must happen on the other. So press into the right foot, press into the right glute, press into the hands, and inhale to lift the leg up. And then straighten here. Engage through the toes and keep pressing with the left foot Maybe pulse a few times. And then exhale to lower. Slowly roll out of the pose, vertebra by vertebra. Beautiful. 3 options. 1 is to draw your knees in towards your heart, hug your knees to your heart, even go into happy baby, and take a soft pose here, just massaging your spine. 2nd option is to go back into your bridge pose and focus on stability and strengthening in the bridge pose, maybe practicing the lift of 1 leg at a time, or not. 3rd option is to go into the upward bow. So I'm going to demonstrate the 3rd option. So your hands are going to come up alongside your ears, heel of the hand press facing backwards, fingers facing in towards your shoulders, and elbows bent up towards the ceiling, feet hip width apart. Press your hands into the floor with a big exhalation. Inhale to lift your head up, to get your head, top of the head on the floor. Perhaps you want to just stop here if this is new to you and your upper body feels really heavy. If you want to go further, then you're going to exhale again and use the power of the inhalation to lift your body up. Now you'll find that your chest is close to the wall, and I invite you here to pulse a little bit, to press your breastbone against the wall. Look back towards your feet to avoid hitting your head, and you're just going to rock here, opening the chest and upper back more deeply each time you bring the weight over the wrists and press the breastbone against the wall. And the more you press the floor away, the deeper the back bend, the more the breastbone comes against the wall. Last breath, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, slowly lower. Coming down the same way you went up, head first, and then rolling out. And now we can all bring our legs up, hug them towards the heart, rock from side to side. Taking great care with the spine. We can come into a happy baby, hands on the outside of the feet, pressing the base of the spine into the floor, flattening the spine. So people often think after a back bend that the best thing to do is a forward bend. And that's not quite the case. It's very intensive for your spine. Each time you flex and open and work the spine to that degree, fluid flows into the vertebra. And if you immediately draw the spine in the opposite direction very intensely, it takes a lot of strain. It takes a bit of time, about 30 seconds to a minute, for the fluid to drain out again, about a minute actually, for the fluid to drain out again. And so you always want to immediately counter a back bend with core work or flattening and straightening the spine. So it's our last few breaths here in the restorative happy baby. And then we can release the legs and finish off before our Shavasana with a reclining twist. So you can either come into the Garudasana legs if that serves you, or just have the legs together. And we're going to twist first legs towards the left, bringing those knees to the floor, and then opening the chest towards the ceiling and looking over the right shoulder. You can close your eyes here and let the belly soften. Feel the jaw and the face soften. Feel the brain in the skull soften too. Just relax and melt into the posture. Observe the breath and the heart as they start to slow. You come right towards the end of your practice. When you're ready, inhale to lift your legs up towards the center, and we can swap over to the other side, left over right this time, as the legs go out towards the right side, and you look over the left shoulder. Close your eyes once you're there. Let the belly be soft, and observe the cycles of your practice as we began in a contemplative and still, fashion, with the breath fully steady and the heart calm. And this is how we end our practice too. And we're coming full circle. And each breath a full circle as well, an inhalation and an exhalation, returning back to that minute moment of nothing, that minute break between the breaths, that complete stillness. And then when you're ready, lift your legs up again. Relax the legs, coming out of your twist and coming into your Shavasana. So I invite you, as you soften your legs out, feet flopping outwards, to, once you have the legs out as you would like them, as wide as you need for your Shavasana, I invite you to just engage your glutes and lift your hips off the floor, and then draw your glutes and hips just a little bit away from the shoulders, lengthening the lumbar spine as you do that. And then inhale to lift your hands up, palms facing upwards, and draw the fingers away from the shoulders. And then exhale, lower your hands onto the mat to soften and lengthen through the shoulders, and do the same through the back of the neck as you draw your chin ever so slightly inwards. And you can close your eyes here, drawing all your attention inwards, finding that inward gaze and finding the steady and soft, unforced rhythm of your breath, of your heart, returning once again into a place of meditation, of reflection. And let your breath guide you here into your relaxation. Let each exhalation be an invocation to relax a bit more, to let go a bit more deeply. Let the cycle of the breath, the ebb and the flow, calm your mind, letting all the thoughts and worries and ideas float away with the tide. Let yourself dissolve into this moment. Let the passing ebb and flow of the breath lull you and let you sink more deeply into the recesses of the mind, deep into your relaxation. After our work and effort, we now have these moments of complete stillness and silence. And as we embrace movement and light and breath and joy, we too embrace these moments of dormancy, of turning inwards, turning away, reflection, darkness, and both important and nourishing for the body. Letting the breath flow, becoming ever more still, ever more subtle. A spiral of energy, not created, not destroyed, eternally pulsing, a give and a take, a give and a take, a give. And invite you now to gently start to move into your hands and your feet, bringing life back to the body. And if it feels good for you, stretch your arms above your head, taking a deep breath in. Lovely, long, luxurious stretch. And then a way that feels good and right for you, come up to a seated position facing forwards. I invite you now to bring your hands in front of your heart with your palms together in a Jali Mudra. Let us join together over time and space in communion with this universal vibration, with this universal impulse of Taking a deep breath in. With this conscious awareness of life as circular, there is no such thing as our people and not our people. Everyone is our people, under one sky, on the breast of one Earth Mother. Let us help each other in every way to give back more than we take, in compassion and in gratitude. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this Vinyasa, Hatha Vinyasa flow session. If you enjoyed it, I do other classes, live streaming classes over the week. Please connect with me to get the schedule. And I'll also remind you that all of these classes are free, but donations are welcome. And 50% of all donations are going to charity. Each week, I choose a different charity to donate to. This week, our charity is the Gift of the Givers. They are Africa's largest Africa-originated disaster relief, non-governmental and non-profit organization. They have offices across the continent, and they are engaged in everything from disaster relief to, drought relief, to nutrition, to medical care, to education programs. Indeed, they're also at the front line right now of dealing with the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic, and they're an incredibly worthy cause. So in order to donate, please go to my website, www.ninabutler.net, that's my name.net, and find the yoga, my story page, and click onto the link to online classes, and you'll see the donate button on that page. I'll also add the link to this video, and I'd love to connect with you and share with you in compassion, in love for yoga, and in gratitude once again. Be well. Namaste.